and I somehow managed to get this to work. Alright, so without further ado, let's just plug in and fly. Okay, so hopefully this time the footage doesn't show much stuttering and all that lah, right? So let's go and fly, and I'll just talk as we fly, and I'll try to explain to my humble best as to what my interpretation of flow is, okay? So let's go. Goggles on. Humming. Let's go. Okay. Okay, so this is what I meant by flow. You know, some people tend to just move around, left, right, roll, maybe a yaw, maybe a couple of rolls. As they overcome obstacles as they go down to a split S, yeah, or maybe inverted for a while, come back with a reverse split S. So all in one motion. This is the kind of flow that I'm talking about. Yeah. So all in one motion, fluid. So when you mix normal drone maneuvers with certain tricks, for example, say for example a simple split S. So this is the kind of flow that we are talking about. Everything on fluid motion, no stopping, no stuttering, no nothing. It's just one fluid movement. This is the kind of flow. Is what we meant, right? So this is my first battery. I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna land, and I'm gonna put in my second battery, and I will try my very best to explain to you guys how, say for example, a Sbang or a Juicy pilot would fly and what they meant by their style of flow. Yeah, so I'm just gonna land and come back. Okay, right, so I'm back. I've already landed. I'm gonna unplug, plug in again with my second battery, and I'm gonna show you guys how Sbang pilots or Juicy pilots would tend to flow. Yeah, so give me a while. Okay, so I'm just gonna plug in for a while. Just give me a bit of time. I'm just gonna plug in the second battery. So if you guys are tuning in, thank you so much for tuning in to this live. Just a short live. First of all, I'm just testing out whether the footage as compared to previous live sessions, I just want to see whether this one will be much better, because I drop it down to 720p instead of the 1080p in terms of resolution, and the bitrate I reduce it down a little bit. So hopefully the flight footage earlier doesn't stutter as in previous live sessions. So hopefully it will be much better lah. Anyway, so I'm just here to explain a little bit about what does flow means. When people mention the word flow, what does flow in FPV mean? So earlier on, I've already showed you guys a very simple movement where everything is in fluid motion, as in one single motion. Everything is kept moving, or in a one single movement. So that is what we meant by flow. So now I'm just going to give a little bit of a gist of how a Juicy or a Sbang pilot, for example, would flow within their elements of how to explain. within their bang movement, within their juicy movement. So how do they flow? Because they are more snappy as compared to the flow pilots, right? So here goes nothing. I'm plugging in. Hopefully footage comes up and then we can start flying. Okay. Okay, so guys, I'm not a real expert. I haven't been flying for eons, no. This is just within my limited knowledge from my experience mixing with other FPV pilots and I see them fly. This is what I noticed and I just want to share with you guys. Of course, there are other pilots with different form of interpretation and hopefully in the future episodes I can get to interview them and I can see them fly. I can, and demonstrate their style of flying to you guys, and I think they would be better in a better position to actually explain their own style, and it will be better in that sense. Yeah, but in the meantime, I'm just gonna show you guys what I think. Yeah, my own interpretation. Yeah. Okay, so let's not talk further. Let's just go and fly. So this is my interpretation, this is my perception and my viewpoint of how a Sbang and a juicy pilot would fly their style. Yeah, they are more snappy. I would say that I'm more of a juicy pilot and I'm very snappy when it comes to different movements. Yeah. So that everything wants flowing, fluid motion. This is the flow of a juicy pilot. Turn, inverted, split S, and using this small lonely tree, as we call it, as the subject of my flying today. This is a rewind, left and right rewind. This is my roll. A juicy pilot will usually tend to roll fast and slow at the same time. Some of them likes to go fast, slow, fast, slow. Let's use this tree for another split S trick and a reverse split S right there. So these are the tricks that we do. Everything in one fluid motion. This is our flow as a juicy pilot and our flow as what is viewed by a juicy pilot. Another rewind, snappy movement, your things like that. Yeah. Inverted your spin. Yep, so that is my take as a juicy pilot myself, our style of flow as compared to previous flow. So different pilot flies differently and different pilots interpret their flow differently as well. So what is your flow? You need to find yourself. You need to fly, you need the stick time, you need more time to be with yourself, fly your style and find your flow. Yeah. So that's the reason why this live is here, to guide you guys on certain things that you might find it too overwhelming, especially when it comes to FPV. It can be very overwhelming at times. All right, so it's nearly 3 minutes already. Let's do a simple reverse orbit around this lonely tree. High, then go low. This is throttle control, yeah, much throttle control. Keep the subject in the center. How's the footage? Is it stuttering or is it good? I'll see. I can only see it later. Anyway, my battery is running low and I'm going to land really soon. So let's go and land. Otherwise my battery will be really bad, because now it's already like 3.2 volts already. Okay, all right, so that is my take of how a juicy, or not really a sbang pilot, but more of a juicy pilot, and how we flow. The previous footage, or the previous flying session, my first pack, that was more of a flowy kind of what a flowy pilot would tend to do, or trying to, you know, tend to flow. So this is my own interpretation. Hopefully in the future I can get more FPV pilots who have different disciplines. Say for example a sbang pilot, or maybe another flow pilot to come in and explain to us, because they might have been flying for many more years than me and they have more experiences. So maybe I can get them to come in to this live and then explain to you guys in a much more better way their own interpretation from their experience on how they flow. Yeah, so that is my life for today. Hopefully it's beneficial for you guys. Hopefully you know, I can carry on and continue these live sessions, because I like doing them, right? So if you guys find it beneficial as well, please do share and like, because you know, you might just reach out to new FPV pilots who you know, have a lot of questions and find FPV too overwhelming, and they're just too shy to ask, right? So hopefully this live can reach out to them. So if you guys are new in the FPV market and if you have any form of questions, please feel free to just leave them in the comments, and of course when I read them, I'll try my very best to answer it for you guys. All right, so till the next episode, this is Fast FPV. Have a good day guys, and take care.